Hello everyone, this is Women's Grandmaster Sabina Foisor bringing you back the second World Chess Championship for Disabled Round 4. This is my game of the day between International Master Pakhomov Alexey and Smirnov Alexey, although he does not have a title yet. I'm sure upon the completion of the event he will receive the title. Anyway, so this is the game for today. You can find more information about the event on worldchess-disabled.com. I will be posting these links below the video as well, so you can just click the link. Additionally, I want to just say thank you once again for the people who got me the opportunity to be the commentator of this great event, Grandmaster Thomas Luther and my really good friend Jamie Kenmer. That is it for now. Let's check out the game. d4, d5, knight c3. Maybe you're a little bit surprised, but I've seen this played before, especially if black would play e6, maybe we can get the French here. So maybe white was just trying to avoid some specific openings. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, black's response was knight f6 and here bishop g5. Now, this is not like the Trompovsky, because now after knight bd7, which was indeed played in the game, this capture makes no sense. Now you're just giving away the bishop, you're not doubling my pawn. So, but there's a good thing about the bishop in g5, it's active, and eventually it's going to be annoying pinning this knight in f6. f3, an interesting idea. White wants to prepare e4 and possibly start the attack. Maybe also queen d2 and thinking some g4 stuff on the king side. Who knows? But it's definitely an interesting restricting move and, you know, preparing different things. c5. Black has to attack the center. He's giving the opportunity of doing so. Why not? d takes c5 was played by white. Maybe e4 was another alternative. After c takes d4, bishop f6 takes. Although white did give the bishop pair, now he takes. Black cannot castle anymore. F takes e4. This knight will be developed in f3, castle, and white has an okay position. It's probably about equal. There's this pawn a little bit weak, and black has the bishop pair, but his king doesn't have a very clear place to be set on. So that was another possibility, but d takes c5 was played in the game. Queen a5. Of course, another way of capturing that pawn is to play e6 and take it with the bishop, but white could continue e4 here, and if you take, I take in d5. You can play bishop takes g1, but then I take in e6 intermediate, and this position would happen in the game if this line would go, and now we have a double attack. It's a very complicated position in my opinion. So I prefer queen a5 personally. Queen d2, e6. So both players now are trying to finish the development. Now e4, breaking the center, trying to utilize the fact that me as white, I can castle immediately in one move, whereas you with black, your king is still in the center. You'll have to hang on for some moves before you are able to do so. Bishop takes c5, takes. Knight takes d5. I think he takes d5 might have been a slightly bit better for black, because after castle, now we can castle too. We have d4. It's opposite side castling and both players can attack, but knight takes d5 is fine as well. Just that I feel in this position white has a slight edge after the trade of the queens, and now e takes d5. The pawn structure is the same as in the other line that I showed you, just that the queens got traded off the board. So black just has this weakness here in d5, and you know, cannot really attack the king or anything. The game continued this way, king c1. So basically white made the castle move by move. Maybe bishop e3 was a better possibility here. Tried to change the only active piece of black's, and now with d4, well, we attracted that pawn a little bit more in our territory. Now bishop f4, and then the knight will be developed with tempo. This possibly could have been a better choice for white, but king c1 is fine as well. f6, bishop f4. Again, we're gonna be looking at this isolated pawn there. Okay, knight b6. I think personally that the position of this knight is better in here in c6. So I would have recommended maybe better to play king f7 and now knight b8 with the idea knight c6. I know with black I'm not developed entirely, but we definitely need to choose a right square for the knight. So I think c6 is a little bit better than b6, but I might be wrong. Knight b6 was the choice of Smirnov Alexey. King f7, now h4. I think we should finish our development first, knight e2, and then figure out how we want to start pushing the pawns on the king side. That is just my opinion. Now white played knight e2, so I would have probably, if the knight was here, I would have probably come to c3. Rook a e8, c3, knight c4. So the knight eventually got even more active in c4. Knight d4, a very good move, blockading the isolated pawn and just having a very nice outpost for the knight in d4. h5, and here, in my opinion, white just made a mistake capturing the knight. There's no need for white to give away the bishop pair. Not only he gives away the bishop pair, but he also helps black to improve his pawn structure. Now there are no weaknesses in black's position. He has the bishop pair, so he is the one who's going to play for win. Maybe in this position, instead of capture, just king c2, I think would have been a better move here. Trying to just, it's an endgame, trying to bring the king towards the center, see how black is going to progress the position. We are playing, after all, against a stronger player, so let him try to find ways to improve in this position. There are some ideas with a6, b5 probably for black, but I think next I'm going to play b3, chase your knight away, and find some ways to attack your d5 pawn, or at least trade more pieces, but not bishop for the knight. If we trade, we have to try to trade equally. This is exactly the same piece, not bishop for a knight. I think that this was a mistake that probably gave black a big edge to try to play this position for a win. a6, now okay, trading the rooks, that's fine. And now we have this endgame that I think is so instructive, because the only little advantage that black has is that he has the bishop pair, and okay, maybe a little bit more advanced this pawn in c4, but it shouldn't make a big difference. And of course, black will never capture the knight, because then it would be opposite color bishop, so it would be a draw. But basically just the bishop pair. And let's see how black is going to work this game out in order to have some chances to win. First of all, he plays g5. His idea now is to try to push the pawns, blockade them or not, but create, in a way, one or two weaknesses on this side of the board. So this is the first step. Let's see how it went, and then I will stop once the first step has been successful, and we're gonna go to the second step. Now bishop e7. The bishop wasn't staying that great there, so we need to make sure we are placing our pieces on best positions. Slowly the king is going to advance with our pawns to try to, enter. We would like to enter in g3 if possible and win g2, but that's not that easy to be done. So slowly we have to advance with our pieces. Now the king is central, so black has a much better king than white's. This is a second little advantage that's going to improve his position, g4. This is a very nice catch, because now if you capture, just bishop takes, and where will you be going with your king? For example, if you go king d2, now maybe I can enter king e4, and then I'll find a way to come trade your bishop and activate my king even more. So definitely white does not want to trade pawns, because the more you trade, the easier it's going to be for black to improve the position of his king into your territory. So that is the reason why in this position white just stayed without I'm so sorry. White just, this was the position, stayed with the king close and just waited to see how black is going to continue. g3. Now we have finished our first step of this position. We have brought the pawn to g3. g2 is now going to be a weakness, and white will have to keep his king very close to that pawn, because otherwise there will be h3 ideas And if you don't take, of course, I go h2 and queen. And if you take, I'm going to be pushing g2. Then I'll bring the bishop in h2 and promote the pawn. Of course, so your king has to stay kind of up to the e file, not much further, because then this possibility will be possible. So now, what is our second plan, next plan? Well, we have to figure out what we're going to do on the queen side. And this is exactly what Alexey Smirnov did. He improved his bishop a little bit to try to force white to play a3, so then when I'm going to push these pawns to b4, I will force some trades. So now bishop b1, bishop d3, king g1. Like I said, the king really needs to stay in that area, otherwise h3 is going to be killing. King d5, bishop d8. Sometimes we just need to make some waiting moves just to make sure our pieces are placed on the best possible squares. Okay, bishop d7. Okay, king d5. Now it is time to play b5. King g1, a5. Knight c2. Well, I can't play b4 yet, so I need to just give you the move so that your knight goes away from there. Of course, your bishop kind of has to stay in this area, otherwise either I'm going to play bishop g5 and activate my bishop and win your g2 pawn. If not, I'm going to come on the other side, give you some check, make your king go away, and then I'm going to be able to play some h3. Knight d4 back. What to do? Well, what was our plan? b4. Very good move, forcing some trades here. Well, if you are not taking, you're going to have two weaknesses, because no matter where I take, you'll take back, and then those two pawns will remain unprotected, and it will be quite a nice way for me to enter with the king, or just attack the pawns, keep you passive with the knight in c2, and then attack your knight and capture one, for example, this a3 pawn. So white had to take, takes. Of course, you cannot capture again because your knight is hanging. Right here, you're just losing the knight. So white, again, has to stay passive. Bishop d7, knight back, bishop a4. As you can see, black didn't hurry to capture in c3 because I can pretty much capture any time. You can never capture in b4 because b2 will be hanging, or your knight, depending on where your knight is. If I take the knight, of course, you lose immediately. Even if I take in b2, this pawn is going to go for the queen quite fast. So we need to make sure we keep the position quite compact. Now, finally, black captured in c3. And here, our second step of this trying to win process has been completed. We have finished blockading and stabilizing the position on the queen side as well. So now it's time, as my arrows show, to bring our king as active as we can. And this is exactly what black did. He brought his king. He just made sure he didn't bring it to, he didn't allow any kind of discovery check, so that's why he's going really far away. He's making a big circle here. Bishop g5 to stop that bishop in g1 for some time. Oh, bishop e3. Well, don't worry, I'm not trading the bishop. I'm not ready at that moment yet. I'm just improving the position of my king. Knight c2 check, king b3, knight d4, king b2. Okay, third step is done as well. Now, what do we have to do? Well, now we have to combine these two ideas. This one with the h3 and pushing the pawn, and with the winning of the c3 pawn. And here, after bishop e3, bishop f6, black could have played bishop f5, after which I think white is in Zugzwang, because, for example, if you move the knight, there's just going to be bishop d3, bishop f1, and if you play bishop f4, then still bishop d3, bishop f1. So I don't see what white could have played, but black didn't go for that immediately. He played bishop c6, threatening some h3 stuff. Now h3, g2, and here white blundered bishop e3, after which he actually resigned, because why? Well, after bishop e3, we just have bishop takes f3, we're gonna take the knight, and then c3 pawn is going to be lost. In case he had played king e3, probably bishop h4. This line seems to be quite interesting. Black still has chances of winning. Maybe white could have saved, but very hard. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this game. Stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thank you.